so God made a dog. God said, I need somebody willing to wake up, give kisses, pee on a tree, sleep all day, wake up again, give more kisses, then stay up until midnight basking in the glow of a television set. God said, I need somebody willing to sit, then stay, then roll over, then with no ego or complaint dress in hats they don't need and costumes they don't understand. Somebody who, no matter what you didn't do or couldn't take or didn't win or couldn't make, will love you without judgment just the same, so God made a dog. God said, I need somebody strong enough to pull sleds and find bombs, yet gentle enough to love babies and lead the blind. Somebody who will spend all day on a couch with a resting head and supportive eyes to lift the spirits of a broken heart. It had to be somebody who'd remain patient and loyal, even through loneliness. Somebody to care, cuddle, snuggle and nuzzle and cheer and charm and snore and slobber and eat the trash and chase the squirrels. Somebody who would bring a family together with the selflessness of an open heart. Somebody who would bark and then pant and then reply with rapid wag of tail when their best friend says, let's go for a ride in the car. So God made a dog.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today for another episode of Gold Wingnut Live. Each week I answer your questions about things happening in Sumter County and the villages. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos I produce are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happenings here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo video package for your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work's being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some others do. I'm watching your home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange your package today. Now let's get started with the show.
I wish every dog in the world knew what it feels like to be someone's favorite.
For thousands of years, humans have searched for loyalty, for joy, for a reason to get out of bed before noon. Today, that search is over. Introducing Dog, the revolutionary new product that is somehow both the best decision you'll ever make and the worst. DOG comes standard with unconditional love software. Whether you've been gone for 10 years, 10 hours, or 10 seconds, Dog will greet you like you've just returned from war. With tail wag propulsion technology, stealth midnight cuddles, and the astonishing, I know you're sad, so let me sit on your lap, even though I weigh 110 pounds function. But that's not all. Dog also includes a state-of-the-art security system that detects every leaf, squirrel, and Amazon delivery person within a 3-block radius. A convenient exercise program which activates at 6 a.m. sharp in the snow while you're still in pajamas. And a self-cleaning face lick module applied without warning, preferably right after dog drinks from the toilet. Of course, DOG may also come with side effects. Unstoppable fur production. Your house will now contain enough hair to knit another dog every 2 weeks. Automatic shoe deconstruction, because clearly you never really needed those $200 sneakers. And the spontaneous activation of the vomit protocol, always triggered at 3 a.m., always on the carpet. But despite the chaos, Dog comes equipped with the one feature no other product has perfected: absolute, unconditional love. DOG will follow you, guard you, cheer for you, nap with you, and yes, stare at you awkwardly while you pee. DOG, available in all shapes, sizes, and fur lengths. Adopt yours today and prepare for drool, destruction, and the greatest love of your life.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Gold Wingnut Live. I'm your host, Dawn.Williams, and at Gold Wingnut Live, we talk about the things you want to talk about and try and answer your questions about the villages, Sumter County, whatever you want to talk about. Today's sponsor, Shade Masters USA. If you have a need for any kind of shades or blinds, whether it be inside the house, your lanai, your garage door, whatever, give Shade Masters a call. They've got some great products. Also sponsoring today's show is Kitchen Wise and Closet Wise. Scott and April do a great job. You won't go wrong with their stuff. Fur and Away. They're my dog groomers. They take great care of your dogs. They also do cats, and they come to your house, so you don't have to take and load them up into the car and all that fun. I don't miss doing it anymore. Magic Stairs, of course, great product. Beats the heck out of climbing up those rickety stairs, getting into your attic. Surf to Turf Home Inspections. Tom at Surf to Turf does a great job inspecting your home, both at the, when you first get in the home, if it's a new home, and you want to do that at the 1 week point, and then also at about the 11-month point, you get it inspected again, so that you can get all the warranty work taken care of. Uh-oh, volume is low. All right, thank you. All right, maybe that's a little better. And we're going to turn that up, turn that up, turn that up. Sorry, you guys didn't see the panic going on at my... as everything started to roll, I looked over and I didn't have my mic on, and I didn't have my soundboard hooked up. So I was scurrying around going out to the truck to get the soundboard while all the pre-show videos were running. Oh, all right. There we go. Probably get. Okay. Hopefully that's got the volume fixed. I think I've got it fixed. I'm seeing it. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Cecilia. So yeah, and of course, Country Village Power Equipment. If you need a good golf cart and you want to pay reasonable prices, give them a call. Nate over there, he's the manager. He'll take good care of you. All right. So much going on today. We had a couple of things come in before the show started. Rich A says, hi from Warminster, Pennsylvania, repairing my wooden deck while the weather is nice. This is part of my house reno so I can sell and move to the Villages. Well, Rich, I hope you get your deck fixed up real quick and get your house sold and come on down to the Villages and join us. Jim O wants to know, Dawn, there are major roads going through the Villages east and west. Those roads have most of the commercial properties, chain restaurants, etc. Are there any plans for roads like that in the south part? Well, from what it appears right now, most of that is the commercial development right now is centered in the Eastport and Middleton area. Still, what's still unknown is what's going to happen down by the turnpike at 470. There's, the hospital is still scheduled to go in there, but beyond that, it's zoned for commercial development. Similarly, some property on the other side of the turnpike, that's zoned for some commercial development. So I think there's a possibility there. We'll see what happens, though. I can only read the tea leaves so much. I got to find the smoking guns that they have to post in the required permitting process to help find it and let you guys know what's happening. All right, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, remember, if you're joining us live, or if you're just now joining us, or maybe you didn't come in at about 10 minutes till the hour, be sure to jump to the live portion of it. Grab the slider on YouTube, drag it all the way to the right so you're at the live portion. That way the text overlay, if you're watching it, matches up with what we're talking about. Otherwise, we sometimes get comments come in a little bit late going, what about this, what about this? And we had just talked about it. So again, be sure you jump to the live portion. Let's see here. Patty says, love the dog commercials. They're bringing tears to my eyes. So adorable. Yeah, if anybody who knows me knows I'm a big dog lover. We do have an animal shelter here in Sumter County, and if you're in the need for a dog, and trust me, I have a great need for a dog. That's why I have two. Consider rescuing an animal, whether it be through one of the local animal rescues, the Humane Society, or the Sumter County Animal Shelter. Give these dogs a second chance at life. All right. We got the volume figured out, I guess. Let's see. David says, hi, fellow Moultrie Creekers from Sharon. All right. Talk about the all right. Muskie says, talk about the location of the 301 rerouting. Where exactly, east or west of the church at Warm Springs 301? I'm trying to remember. I saw it. I believe it is to the west of the church, but I'm going to have to go back to some of the records that I've gotten and some of the emails I got in my county email to know exactly. I believe, again, it's to the west on the other side. We'll know there's a big meeting going on. I think it's this week about the construction work. They've started construction work now on the segment between the bypass of the city of Coleman. Okay, what hospital is planned at 470? I don't know yet. My sources are very tight-lipped. All they've been able to tell me is things are being worked. I had honestly expected something a year ago. It has taken a long time. When the deal fell apart with the University of Florida, that was pretty sad, because we had a research and teaching hospital going to be located here in the Villages, and that was great. But politics are what politics are, unfortunately we lost it. So they got to renegotiate. Rick F. says, just bought a Hillsdale in Oak Hollow. Is that the model you have? If so, is there anything you wish was different? So I don't have a Hillsdale, yeah, I do have a Hillsdale, yes, okay, duh. So yes, that is the one that Debbie and I purchased. Again, it was meant to be a rental. Sometimes the world falls apart for you. Anything I wish was different? Probably the only thing I could say is the living room feels a little small. Now, what I saw, it used to be called, I believe, a mossy oak, and one of my customers, oh my gosh, what's his name? He's over in Chitty Chatty. Anyway, English gentleman, great guy. He had a custom one built, and what they did was they removed the hallway, and they moved the laundry room over to the wall next to the garage. They moved the closet with it, and where the closet door is, they put an opening into the living room. So if you're familiar with the Hillsdale, on the right, as you're looking at the living room wall, is the master bedroom, and the nothing. So, but you've got that wasted space of the hallway. They got rid of the hallway, and it's very symmetrical, and it is. I thought it was phenomenal what he did. That little bit of a change, it gave back. The hallway's 3 feet. Well, 3 feet of extra space in your living room is big, and it was really, really a great idea. All right. Let's see. Good to Go says, is there a new strip mall that may contain a grocery store near Shady Brook, going in near the fire station where the food trucks are now? If not there, where? So, a food store. They've broken ground, it looks like. I didn't get a chance to fly it. I just saw it looking through the fence on the grocery store in Middleton. Again, that appears to be a Publix. So that's in Middleton. In Eastport, the staging yard has been cleaned out, and it looks like they might be getting ready to start some work there. It's still uncertain. I haven't seen any postings, so it may still be a few months away. I'm not sure. Of another grocery store there, which one's going in there, I don't know for sure. And then there is that strip mall with really large stores just to the north of Fire Station 48 on Marsh Bend Trail. Work hasn't started on that yet, but the units there are really big. And the center one does look primed for a grocery store. What's it going to be? I can't find anything out yet. I've sent a couple of emails to some of the contractors that are listed on the drawings, and I haven't gotten any response yet. But it definitely looks like, has the potential for grocery stores, some other large stores, a couple of restaurants maybe. Obviously, we need some banks down here too. So, yeah. So, that's what I can tell you about that. Where the food trucks are, I believe that is where the Wildwood Police Department is going to build a substation. All right. Park Roaming with Robbie says, will they have to reconfigure Central Parkway so the golf carts can access the new Chase and Burger Place on Central Parkway? I don't believe so. You know what? Why don't we? I didn't double check this. I'm gonna bring up the Villages map and we can take a look because it shows all the cart paths over in Middleton. Let's see. There's a web browser. And pardon me just a second. I gotta initialize the web browser. There we go. All right. So we're gonna go over here to Villages map. Good. I got it on the right screen. We'll take a quick gander down here. And, all right, so the answer is no reconfiguration will be necessary. Okay, so the area that we're talking about is these two plots over here. And as you can see here by the Early Learning Center and Early Childhood Center, this green path on the left that goes under Central Parkway and around, you'll be able to take that to get to, I don't remember the name of the mini burger place, the Sliders place. I actually saw one of those the other day. I was shocked because I'd never heard of them before. And there's also going to be a gas station over there, a Chase Bank, a tire store, a couple other things. So there you go. So no, they're not going to. So Robbie, they're not going to have to reconfigure Central Parkway. I'd been meaning to look at that because I had the same question myself when I was talking about that, but I saw a squirrel, something shiny. I got distracted. So all right, let's go back to the main screen. All right. Cecilia says, I have a mossy oak, which is the same except for a few minor changes, arches, front sidewalk. I love the separation of each bedroom and each of the bathrooms next to the bedrooms. I agree about the living room. Yes, the way it's laid out, you have obviously the master suite, which has got the ensuite bathroom. The room I use when I'm there as my office has a bathroom also, an ensuite. And then the front bedroom doesn't have an ensuite, but there's a hallway with the bathroom in that same hallway. And at least on the Hillsdale, there is a sliding door that closes it off. So, for example, when we had our friends Ron and Marianne up here, they stayed in there. They closed the slider, and they had an ensuite also. So it works out. Cecilia wants to know what the burger place is on Central Parkway. Honestly, I'm trying to remember. Slider Slims or something like that. It's supposed to be some sort of slider restaurant. I don't remember what it was. On the Villages on the Villages YouTube page, they have that information there. All right. Rick F says, thanks, we close on the 24th. Do you recommend an inspection during the first week? I know I have to get one before the 1 year anniversary. Yes, I absolutely do recommend getting one the first week, and then during the 11th month. Smalls Sliders. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate that. That's it. Smalls Sliders is the name of the place. Like I said, we saw one the other day. I'm trying to remember where Debbie and I were at when we saw it. But anyway, you want to get one because there are certain things like if there's marring on the cabinet finishes or something like that, they're not going to take care of that at the 11th month. They're going to say that's normal wear and tear. That's why you want to get it done at the 1 week point. Same thing with any kind of damage to the flooring. You want to get that done at the 1 week point so they can't say that it's normal wear and tear and it's not going to be covered under warranty. So you get it at the 1 week point, before the 1 week point, and also at the 11-month point, just to cover all your bases. Greg R. says, I have a Dove designer version of a Hillsdale. I wish the kitchen had a small island from the Oreo, Ottawa. Some friends building custom Doves are doing just that. Yeah, the kitchen on the Hillsdale is huge. That was one of the things Debbie absolutely loved about it, and we've used it quite a few times. This year I'm cooking a turkey for Fire Station 49. It's not quite open yet for Thanksgiving. It will be my first attempt to do anything like that in the new house. All right. Let's see. Small Sliders is in Ocala. You're right. Thank you, Mushki. That's where we saw Smalls. When we went up to the home show up in Ocala last week, that's where we saw the Smalls. Jerry Bell says, I would rather have big sliders instead of small sliders. Hey, I like a good big burger too. Night before last, was it? No. Man, what day was it? Was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. We had burgers on the grill. And I'm a huge fan of burgers on the grill. We get our burgers from, you know, some days you sit here and you just draw a blank. Fresh Market, that's where we get our burgers from. That's where we get all our meats from. Great stuff. Let's see, Tammy says, we have no issues with Nova filters. We have to get replacements soon since our year is almost up. Yep, just give Nova a quick call and they'll schedule you and come out and change it. Nova, let's see. Mushki says, Nova has updated their whole system. I had the old system for 7 years, no problem, but went ahead and had them change out to the new system. The new system has a 3-year warranty. Yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you. Dang it, I wish I didn't download those pictures from my phone. Took my dogs over to Sophie Doodles. I try and get out to the house every morning and take them to Sophie Doodles. I did it this morning. Sophie Doodles is the dog park in Eastport. And I take a big plastic bucket with me for them to drink water. Otherwise, you're standing there all the time holding your hand on the water fountain for them. Big pain. But the first time I went over there, I filled it with water. I looked at the water and it was kind of, it was discolored, kind of like rust or whatever. So I dumped the water, I flushed the hose out for about a minute and a half, and then refilled it and everything was fine. But every morning when I get there, I always fill the bucket for them, and every morning the water is discolored. So when you go to the dog park, I highly recommend bring a bucket or a dish for your dog, and before you fill it with the water, be sure you purge the line so that there any kind of contaminants, any kind of rust or whatever that might be in the piping is flushed out. You know, thanks for bringing up about the Nova filters. That is what you call it, a definite thing that you see. You know what? I just changed my view, and did I miss something? Oh, all right. So Orange Mini Cooper. Yeah, this is where it came from. Dawn, we are set to close and have scheduled Nova filters installation. Yet I read about an issue with the plastic tubes failing. Is there an issue? So I'm not sure what plastic tubes you're talking about on that. Unless you may be talking about the water softener. I don't have a water softener. I just got the 3 blue filters that are in series. That's all I felt was needed. The water otherwise tastes pretty good, but you definitely want to have a filter on your on the water coming into the house. Again, just like the dog park, you know, it gets into your house the same way. All right. I'll contact you when we get back in town. Okay. All right, Roxy. All right. So, where are we at on time? Wow. Things pass quickly, really quickly. So, one of the things that was a big issue when they were talking about the amenities, when they had the joint, what was it? Was it the multimodal? It was either the multimodal or it was where they were talking about the card readers. They were talking about the card readers for updating them for the gates and for the swimming pools and that. And there was a big discussion about contractors using the bathrooms at the swimming pool. Well, first, let me make a suggestion. If you have a contractor that's doing your yard, maybe cutting the grass or putting in blocks, you know, the stacked wall or something like that, be sure to invite them in and let them use the bathroom. You know, in Florida, you can't block somebody from using a public bathroom. All right. Restaurants have certain criteria. Theme parks have certain criteria that they have to meet. You know, so there's a couple of special rules. But generally, if it's a public bathroom, it's a public bathroom. And the pools are not private property. The pools are public property. They're owned by Sumter Landing or Village Center Community Development District, which is a part of the local government. So they can't block their usage. You know, if the facility's closed, that's one thing. When the facility's closed, the gates are locked. But yeah, you know, how about a little compassion? You know, these men and women are out there working their tails off, and you got to go to the bathroom. It's just a natural function. I would much rather them go to the bathroom at one of the pools, and then what are the options? Tree beside your house? I don't know. You know, let's be just reasonable. You know. All right. Don says, for Nova, if the water pressure is too high, the blue canisters can develop cracks. Boy, it's going to take a lot of pressure, Don, to get those high. Plus, the pressure is pretty well regulated here in the villages, but you know, anything's possible, I guess. Don, he is talking about the regular blue, about the roofs, and they said the old system, the blue exterior tubes, cracks. Okay. All right. Don recommends adding a pressure valve on the input side. Yeah, you can put a pressure regulator. Again, I think it's a waste. You know, what causes the cracks is surges in pressure. If you're worried about something like that, any kind of pressure surges that causes cyclic stress, and that can cause cracking on anything, whether it's the pipes or whatever. The big blue canisters that the cartridges fit in, they're pretty tough. I'm surprised to hear that they've had a problem with cracking, but hey, it is what it is. All right, what else? Anything else come in here? All right, I got the right list up. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, last week we were talking about pool heaters and coolers, and I had Vinny, a friend of mine. He works with Lowe's. Great guy. I was over his house last night. We had bourbon and cigars and wine. He and his spouse did a great job. But he sent me some information on the coolers, and yep, they do have them. I stand corrected. It is an interesting concept. I'll be honest with you, I never really saw the need for cooling down the pool. The heated it, yes, with solar. Did that all the time. Occasionally we used the gas, but never really saw a need for cooling it. The pool did get on a few days up around 90, but by morning it was cooled back down. If it's a priority for you, then by all means go with something like that. John, I love your comment. I love your comment here. Who do we contact about the lack of reflectors on the multimodal paths along Marsh Bend CDD 15? It's crazy dark at those sharp turns, and it's even worse if it's been raining. And it's not just there, it's all the multimodal paths. If you want to see what it looks like, go up to CDD 5, which is just on the south side of 466, and there's a multimodal path that parallels 466 between Morris and Buena Vista. Go down that, it's phenomenal. You'll love it. So the RPMs, you want to go to the CDD 15 meeting that's coming up and express your concerns there. I will be there expressing those same concerns because it is really scary dark back there. You know, when you get around the substation and you get around Central Lake and that area, yeah, they need to go in there. The logic that was put up about them being, they said, oh, well, there were safety concerns because people will trip over them. Why are you walking down the middle of the damn road? Why? I don't understand that. How can you trip on it? How can you fall on it? Are they hazards to bicycles? Well, jeepers, don't ride your bicycle down the middle of the road. It's that simple. They are incredibly useful. They work great. You know, I'll admit, over the years, I've come back from events and, yeah, been tired, okay? And caught myself, you know, nodding off a little bit. Who hasn't? And the RPMs, they'll wake you up. They will wake you up. The logic of, well, they're a hazard goes out the window because 5 years ago, maybe it's been long, it's been longer than 5 years ago now, in all the hazard areas north of 44, they installed RPMs on the multimodal paths. So where you had the dividing boulevard, they put them there to mark the dividers so you didn't get hit. They used to just have some reflective stuff on the curbing. Much better. Around some of the bends, same thing. If you look in CDD 12, just going south of Magnolia Plaza on the golf cart path, they've got them there. So there's no excuse not to put them in there. None whatsoever. But thank you, John, for asking that. Again, go to the CDD meeting, let them know your feelings, let them know that they're really important. All right, good to go says I got three blue Nova filters when I bought a year ago. Came back after 3 months away, and the bottom of my dog's bowl was gritty after evaporation. Just put some reverse osmosis in the kitchen sink now. Interesting. I haven't seen that. What I have seen is mineral deposits, though. I have golden retrievers. They're sloppy. They splash water. The water dish that we use has a lip along the outside, so it catches it, and it is tough scraping that stuff out. So you do get calcium deposits. Remember, we're sitting on top of a huge calcium deposit that's limestone, and it's in the water. It's ionized, so it's not going to get filtered out, so it passes through, and you know, it does, with evaporation, does collect. All right. Danny says, okay, Don, here we go. Outside faucets that What's the deal with the ridiculous valve? Oh, okay. Squirting water all over the place. Never had that in Rhode Island. So that is called a backflow preventer, and that is required by state law. And the reason you have it is so that when you shut the valve, it releases the pressure from the hose or whatever. The goal is not to have backflow into the water system. Maybe it's due to connecting up. You maybe you're using your water hose to flush out your coolant system or something like that. I'm just taking a swag here at this scenario, but they don't want any backflow. Yeah, it can be a little messy. I just put my hand over it and shut off the valve, and yeah, my hand gets wet, but who cares? Let's see. It prevents dirty water from being sucked back into the water system if the hose was left in a puddle of water. Okay, yep, there you go. A finning village will remove them and put a regular faucet. I mean, I don't think you don't even have to put a regular faucet in. You got a regular faucet. There is a little drift pin that you drill it out, and you can unscrew it. Leave it on. It's not a big deal. Let's see. Again, anti-siphon. Okay. There are also no lighting in the tunnels as you go down south. You notice that too. Yeah, it is time, if you live in CDD 15, to start pounding on the table and saying, we need to be safer. It took them a while to get the mirrors up, but they're up now. So we need lights, we need RPMs on our multimodal paths. Yes, it's going to cost a couple of $1,000s, maybe $20,000, $30,000. All right, that's better than having an accident. It's all there is to it. All right. All right. So, all right, we have nothing. We're caught up. So it's a good time to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Those who own dogs, you know that every time you come back from wherever you went, the dog is happy and it's jumpy and it wants to lick you in the face. Even if you just went to get mail from the mailbox, they delight in your return. If you want to take them out for a car ride, they are the first in the car. They jump in, they don't care where it's going, but they're going somewhere. They're some of the most joyous creatures that live among us. Dogs don't live as long as we do. Every single day a dog lives is equivalent to a week of your life. If they only get 1 day for every week you're alive, they make every day count. I'm just suggesting that their lives have already factored in their mortality. When I look at a dog, I use that as a reminder of how I should live every day of my life, because I get to live 7 times as long as the dog.
All right, we're back. Great words by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Somebody as smart as he is, and he's talking about dogs. I mean, it just tells you what a profound impact they have on our lives. Let's see. William wants to know, Dawn, do you know what's going on at Walmart on 466, some construction in the parking lot? I was not aware of it. I didn't see it the last time I was up there, which was last weekend. But, you know, of course, I may not have been paying attention. Here we go. All right. All right. Cecilia says, speaking of which, there is a sign saying road construction will begin. The signs are at Morse, north, south of State Route 44, and they're going is there going to be an entrance to Walmart by the greenhouse? So, 2 new lights are going in. One down by the gas station that you can see across the fence being built, and also where the road is as you go. Which way would that be on Morse? I guess it would be south. Yeah, if you're going south on Morse, just after you pass the Walmart, right now there's a construction road. They're putting in a traffic light right there also. So there's 2 traffic lights going in. That's going to calm the traffic down quite a bit. But yeah, that's what those signs are all about. Oops, I was referring to the new Walmart area. Yep, we got that. State Road 44, okay. Don, any idea what they're building right next door to the new Wawa at Powell and 466A? You know, I probably go by that intersection every single day, between going to my apartment, going to my office, and going back and forth. And I honestly, Greg, I hadn't noticed. I'm sorry. I'll have to go look and see what's going on. But I have not seen anything, or I have not noticed anything. So, but I'll try and remember this week, you know, now that you've jogged my memory. All right. So, last week we talked about LaGrange and some of the new construction going on there, or the sales going on there, and it appears that another section of LaGrange will be going up for sale this week, or probably tomorrow. Last week I said there was this really strange area. let me just shift over to the right screen here. That's always easier if we can see it. All right. So the area in question is this just to the left of the ball fields, this big open area. And in one of the drawings I had last week, it showed some lines indicating some differences. Somebody right after the show or during the show sent me another sheet out of that day's listings, and sure enough, it had everything going in there. That appears to be another set of courtyard villas going in there based on the width of the lots. So my guess is they had other plans, because it's not shown other than as a part of CDD 15. It's not shown as anything as far as a subdivision or a unit, but now it's being shown as residential housing. And again, based on the lots and the layout, it looks to be courtyard villas. It looks to be a good sized set of courtyard villas. So that's what's happening there. All right, let's go back. All right. The next time you're up in Ocala, how about doing a drone of the new Buc-ee's? I know it's not part of what you usually do, but we'd like to know. Well, Cecilia, I might be able to do that. Here's the problem, okay? I cannot fly a drone over moving vehicles, okay? I can fly them near vehicles, but I can't fly them over people or moving vehicles. And if Buc-ee's is as big and as busy as they say, you know, I don't know how good of a shot I'll be able to get. Obviously, getting close isn't an issue because I got good zoom lens on the drone. But I'll see what I can do. I normally keep a drone, at least one, in the truck or the car with me. Having it is not an issue. I keep it charged. I have the ability to do that in the truck and in the car. Again, my concern is going to be the traffic that's around there and having a place that I can safely fly. But we'll see what I can do, Cecilia. All right, Happy Go Lucky says, my pool has gotten to 97 degrees multiple times this summer with no heater of any kind running, just the sun. Luckily, I need the pool to be at minimum 93 degrees to be able to use it. 97 is incredibly warm. In all the years we had the other pool in that other house, I never saw it get that high. 92, I think, was the highest I ever saw it. I mean, yeah, wow, 97 is pretty scorching. That's almost hot tub temperature. Again, we never had a problem with it. One of the things that I always did was I always ran the spa overflow. My spa overflowed into the pool. That moving of water gives up some latent heat of vaporization as it spills over, and that helps keep it cool. One of the things you can do if you don't want to put in a cooler is you always have jets on the side. Take one of them. You can find them on Amazon. It looks like a sprinkler. You screw it into that, and it creates a nice shower of water. Doing that will get rid of a lot of heat in the pool. If you it's just like they use for large buildings. When you see the big cooling towers that are exhausting all the steam, it's just water flowing and the air coming up underneath them. That will really take out a lot of heat, and it's $20 or so for the device that screws in there. So that's one way to give it a shot. Maybe you need two of them depending on how warm the water is. All right. Happy Go Lucky says a water softener takes those minerals out, which is a great thing. No mineral buildup anywhere. I agree. One of the things you got to watch with the water softener is they're ion exchangers, okay? And they're exchanging one ion for another. So if you're using a salt one, you can get salt buildups. Like in your toilet tank and things like that, because those ions are going to be in there. So that's something you do have to watch with. It doesn't remove them all, but there you go. East Coaster says, hi, East Coaster, thank you. I really appreciate your sarcasm. Many of us would like to see more ads on the screen. They're great. Thank you. Well, I'm not, okay, moving on. I only heated my spa to 97. I had mine at 104, and it was great. That's apparently what they're doing at the sports pools now. They spray pool water in the air overnight to cool it. Yep. Works like a radiator heat exchanger. Yep. We had a heater chiller in our Keys pool. You know what? I could see that down in the Keys because they definitely gets warm down there. All right. But yeah, if you want to try and bring the temperature down, the cheap way to do it is, again, one of these sprinklers. Again, they're $20, $30, and they screw into one of your return jets. Victoria says, hi, Dawn. I'm late to the game today. Do you think any of the restaurants will be okay, I'm sure she means open, in Eastport in December? One would think. I just did a flight over Eastport this morning. I wanted to take a look. A lot has changed in the last 2 weeks. They're really cleaning up the street. They've got the trees in now that weren't there before. They're putting in benches and garbage cans. So it's starting to take shape. They're starting to clean it up. If any is open, it's going to be Victory, and or excuse me, not Victory. I'm sorry, Prime and Embers. It's owned by the same. It's owned by Fred Karmapur, the same person who owns Victory Family Sports Grill, and another 13 other restaurants here in the Villages. And if I know Fred, he's chomping at the bit to get that restaurant open. He doesn't make a dime until it's open and people are coming in the door. But by December, I think there's a pretty good chance. Let's see. Christy says, ads are totally fair. I've learned a lot from them. I appreciate all you do. Thank you very much. Prime and Embers is hiring staffing in Eastport. That's interesting. That's good to know. All right. Don says, from your flight today, when do you think the new driving range will be open? Don, I didn't fly over the driving range, but I did drive past it. It's ready, okay? As far as I can tell, the big holdup is the construction going on at the hotel. There's still a lot of traffic back there. They have cleaned up the road. They've done the lines and stripes on the road going back there. I'm not sure at this point, other than possibly their concerns with construction in that area, because there's still a lot going on to build that Eastport Hotel. But from what I can see, it's ready to go. Same thing with the Bel Air Executive Course. It's also ready to go. The Bel Air looks gorgeous. There's if you go, gotta get my directions right, to the west of the, here, we got a map. Why try and describe it here? All right, there's Eastport. So, yeah, this road here and this parking lot and all this is finished up. It looks like the building is finished. This is the Golf Academy. It's finished. But I went down this road right here, and you can see the driving range, which is right here. And you can also see a good portion of the Bel Air Executive Course over on the left here. And it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It has had all summer to come in and get strong, the turf to get strong, and anytime now. Again, I think what's holding things up is all the construction going on up here. There is a green fence now that's running along this road and up this way and all the way up and around. If you watch the last video, you can see it up there. They also have, though, a gate right here, a gate attendant, just as you go north, and it's to stop you from going up there. All right. Staffing. Dawn, I was looking to get a chiller unit on our pool. Could you please put an ad up on the screen for that? So, Walton, here's my suggestion. If you got a Pentair or a Hayward system, look at who the manufacturer of your control and pumping system is, and let's flip the video back. Look at who that manufacturer is and go to their website, okay? They're going to have one that matches, because what you want is you want to be able to tie it into your pool control system. And, that would be honestly your best bet. And then, if it's Hayward, or if your pool is one that you got with the house, call T&D. They built the pool for you, and they're a Hayward supplier. They're a totally Hayward company. Get with them. They can install it, because there's going to be some repiping probably that has to be done. Let's see. Victoria, I don't know why Victoria's, well, thank you, Victoria, for your donation. I appreciate it. She always makes a donation every week. It really helps. Because, I mean, I put these ads up. I make some money on it, but it, you know, every bit helps, you know, to offset the cost. Especially with Blue Wing now. Blue Wing never misses a gas station. Holy mackerel. Anyway, she wants to know, will people have to bring their own chair to Eastport? I don't know. Normally they do have chairs like in Brownwood and Lake Sumter Landing and in Spanish Springs. They have chairs they set up. But I think there's going to be plenty of places for you to bring your own chairs. You know, those chairs go on a first come, first served basis. So, you know, yeah. Have a chair ready to go if you do go to the town square, though. That's what my recommendation is. Walton says, wouldn't it just be easier to put another ad up on the screen? I'll put an ad up on the screen if they pay me. Sure. We had AquaCal. Okay, I never heard of AquaCal. Dave wants to know, how do they get golf balls out of the pond at the driving range at 466A in Moyer Loop? They float. The balls float, and if you go there, I mean, I have golfed at Okeechobee. Volusia, and I forgot what the other one is. But the 3 golf courses there, so many times. First out, you see the guys out there with big nets scooping the golf balls out of the water because the wind blows them all to one side, so they go to that side and they scoop up the balls. They dump them into a container and they take them back and wash them and reissue them. But yeah, all the range balls float, which is why when you hit the range balls, they tell you what the equivalent distance is because they don't go as far as as a regular golf ball. You know, you think you club the heck out of it, but it just didn't go as far. Sarasota. Sarasota is one. Escambia, that's the other one. I knew it would come to me. But yeah. They just scoop them out of the water, and you can definitely feel the difference if you hold 2 in your hand. You can feel the difference between the range balls and a regular golf ball. Interesting question, because you know I had the same question because every time I hit a golf ball, I know where it goes when it hits the water, straight to the bottom, and I was like, well, how the heck do they do it? The balls float. Okay. All right. What else? Oh yeah. So the other big thing, the villages squares. Who pays, and are the villages entitled to special treatment? There's been a lot of goings on social media and certain other websites from people saying that, you know, we should get preferred parking and blah blah blah, and the outsiders need to keep them out, and you know. I'll tell you who pays for it. The businesses pay for the music, okay? The actual music facilities, the square itself, so for example in Brownwood, the inside portion, that is owned by the CDD, but it is part of it's covered under the project-wide agreement. So that's coming out, the maintenance of that area is coming out of everybody's maintenance assessment. But the actual streets, the parking lots and all that, they're owned by the building owner. They're paid for by the merchants. They have something similar to our maintenance assessment, but when you start working the numbers, they don't call it a maintenance assessment, but it's basically the same thing. When you start working the numbers from what we pay on a per square foot basis as compared to what they're paying like 15 times as much. But again, Out of that's coming the music. Out of that's coming, maintaining the parking lots. At night they sweep and clean the streets, get any gum up, things like that. All that has to be paid for, and it's the merchants paying for that. Don't begrudge the merchants the ability to make a little money. One of the things that's kind of unique about the town squares is that there is a lot of nighttime traffic. If you go up to Bell's or one of the other ones, what's the name of that store? Home Goods. They're empty at night, but the stores in the squares are not, and they're paying for that foot traffic. But it's obviously worth it. All right. Let's see. Dawn, I'm thinking you have room for 2 more ads on the screen. Honestly, I would disagree. I try and make it so that you don't have to look at the ads if you don't want to. The main focus of the discussion is always in the center of the screen. The ads are on the peripheral. Same thing generally with my other videos. You can ignore them, but hopefully you find something of value from them. All right, let's see. Can the speed limit on Warm Springs at 301 be lowered to 35 miles an hour for the last 100 yards so that it's legal for golf carts to cross Warm Springs to get to the new 7-Eleven in Duncan? Interesting question. So the last 100 yards would not be sufficient. I'll be honest with you, with the volume of traffic, you don't want to cross that road. But there are no plans for lowering it, but I will take that question to the county and see what we can figure out. All right? It's a fair question. I don't think it'll happen, but it's worth looking into and seeing what all the requirements are, because not only does it have to be no more than 35 miles an hour, but there's some other requirements. I think it has to do with how far it's 35 miles an hour. Thing with speed limits is, they help with the design traffic capacity. So we'll see. Cars have to stop anyhow, so it would be useful at zero impact. Yeah. Again, I'll take a look at it. Let me see what I can find out this week, and we'll go from there. All right. So yeah, back to the villager squares. Do villagers deserve special treatment? I would say no. And if you need an example of that, it can be summed up with Katie Bell's. Katie Bell's went out of business because Villages residents took advantage of the business. It was exclusive to Villages residents, but they couldn't make money selling ice water and air conditioning. It was hard to keep staff. They were losing money. Harold Schwartz, he would have shut it down sooner than Mark Morris did. But it is what it is. But no, the squares are not exclusive to the Villages residents. They're actually considered a tourist attraction for Sumter County. Back when we had a tourism tax, it was 1%. It went to help fund the music in the squares because it brought in business. It brought in tax revenue. Unfortunately, one of the things that changed is this past year with the state legislature, because the county was considering bringing back the tourism tax, was to take and use that for other things. But the way the state has changed the laws, we could bring it back, but it's got to go to offset the general fund. It can't. We don't have the ability now to target it towards tourism things. Anyway, so there you go. All right, we talked about pool coolers, we talked about LaGrange, we talked about bathrooms, we talked about everything I had on the agenda. All right, so what else? Anybody else got any questions? Because we're sitting here at a little after 4, so maybe it's time to call it a day. Oh, I got company in here. Lillian. Lily. My baby girl. Oh, the AI is cutting her face out. Yeah, there we go. Yes. What? Come up here. Come on. You can come up here. All right. She's not going to jump up here. She's good about that. Unless I happen to be sitting in a recliner, then she wants to sit on my lap. All right. Dawn, you talked about the strip mall on Marsh Bend Trail. Is that what the open field is on the west side? So, no. That open field on the west side right now is where the substation for Wildwood PD is going to be going. The area is north of the old 470, where they put that the cul-de-sac in at the very end. Just north of that, opposite of the what's it called, Lakeview. Opposite of the village of Lakeview is where that strip mall is going in. But when is Wildwood going to start on building that? I don't know. Let's see. Hi, Don. Do you know which lots in LaGrange will be released this week? Good question, Megan. I can show you what I've seen. If you watch the village's latest video footage, let's go down here. All right. Right here, so this kind of like a hatchet section. And so it's made up of Caudill Trail, Juan Way, Bernie Lane, and well, that's Craig Court it comes in. So this whole area right in here was shown in the latest video that the villages released. It was highlighted, and based on past experience, that's an indicator of what's coming. Previous weeks they talked about it, they showed something, and sure enough, Monday rolls around and it's there. If somebody's a village working with a village's realtor, and they've probably shared some of that information with you, let us know. If maybe there's a village's realtor on there and they are going to release it on Monday or Tuesday, let us know. Where did what did you name the truck? Okay, so Diane, the truck is now called Blue Wing. A gentleman, where's my list? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Steve. Steve was the winner. I notified him. I'm going to take over his gift card, probably this afternoon or this evening. It just depends on what the boss has planned for dinner. But Blue Wing is what we're calling the truck. And he won the $50 Lowe's gift card. Okay, thanks. That's where I meant. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, from what I've seen, they're not clearing the land yet for that strip mall. There was some filings with the Water Management District for that property. So that's where things are going. All right. that being said, okay, it's almost 10 after. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't we call it a day? I am going to go watch some football. See that? I didn't give out any scores today. I got asked not to talk about the scores anymore. Unfortunately, Jacksonville isn't playing until tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that. I was shocked. I was looking at the stats in the morning paper, and they're 3-1. You know, there's I think 2 other teams that are, you know, they're 4-0 or 4-1, and Jacksonville's doing well. I don't get it. Yes, please, the thumbs up. November 13th. Interesting. I thought there was one this month. Mark Morgan, are you on the line today? If you are, let us know on the CDD 15. Actually, we can just go to the District Gov website. Let's do that. That's Sumter County. This is District Gov, residential districts, CDD 15. And lots of information here. Mailing address, there's our commissioners. And budget, deed compliance, architectural review, annual report. Okay, where is it? They used to have a calendar on the opening page. That was convenient. You could see what was coming up. Minutes and agendas. Let's see what the next meeting is. Upcoming. Yeah, it looks like November 13th and not one in December. Interesting. Looks like they've dropped it to every other month now for the CDD meetings. Okay. Here's what it is. Let's see. Sam is saying that he thinks they were sold those this week. Okay. I may have missed it. I don't get a chance to check on a lot of the stuff because I spend a lot of time on the road going back and forth between the apartment and the house. Oh yeah, Good to Go asked about the Catholic Church. I believe you sent me an email on that. So I wish Mark was here because he is actually more knowledgeable on that. He's a member of the diocese or the church that's looking to build there. It is going in that lot where that stupid stunt with the music was pulled, trying to con the villages into buying property. That doesn't work. You're not gonna strong arm the villages into doing anything. But that's where the church is going. I don't know any update on the plans. I know that they asked about golf cart accessibility, and they were turned down. So, one of the things I have seen, you know what? Let's go back to this. One of the things I've seen over the years, as far as golf cart accessibility goes, if it's not on villages' property or you didn't buy the land from the villages, you're not going to get a golf cart accessibility. Which, in some respects, I understand. But, Mark is online. There we go. Mark says, no timeline on the Catholic Church. Thank you, Mark. And Mark, I see that it looks like that you changed your meetings now to every other month. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I know I talked to Jack Miller, who's the chairman of CDD 10. He and I golf together frequently. I know that was one of the things that they were talking about, was reducing the number of meetings to 6 a year instead of monthly, and the CDD 10 board voted it down. All right. So, again, I think we've covered everything. I hope to see everybody back here again next week. I appreciate you taking the time. I'm here for you to answer your questions.
Julia sent a photo and said, when you hear your name mentioned on TV.
My phone's chiming in. Mark sent me a text message. Anyway, anyway, where was I going? You know, squirrel, something, something shiny happened. You know, I lost track of everything. But you know, if you have questions, send them to me. Send them to live@goldwingnut.com. I always check that email right before I come on the air. And if I have any questions, I'll print them out. That message stream has slowed down, so I have to use other sources. But if you have any questions, and it might take a little bit of research, let me know. I'll be happy to look it up and try and get. We'll bring it up at the next meeting, the next show. Everyone, have a great week, and enjoy life. Because, and if you haven't noticed, the weather here in Florida has turned fabulous this time of year. So it's great. All right, let's call it a day. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happening here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo-video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some do. I'm watching your new home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today, and I'll see you next week right here at Gold Wingnut Live.
Old is when your wife says, "Let's go upstairs and make love." And you answer, "Honey, I can't do both." Old is when your friends compliment you on your new alligator shoes and you're barefoot. Old is when a sexy babe catches your fancy and your pacemaker opens the garage door. Old is when going braless pulls all the wrinkles out of your face. Old is when you don't care where your spouse goes, just as long as you don't have to go along. Old is when you are cautioned to slow down by the doctor instead of by the police. Old is when getting a little action means I don't need to take any fiber today. Old is when getting lucky means you find your car in the car park. Old is when an all-nighter means not getting up to pee.
The Navy. A select group of people who can sleep through the roar of a jet engine, inhale a full meal in 30 seconds, and shower under a water stream weaker than their will to live. Yet somehow they take an hour to take a quick piss before Liberty Call. After enlisting, they're guaranteed a lifelong nicotine habit, the instinct to start cleaning whenever they hear footsteps, and an aggressive distrust of anyone who actually enjoys being in the Navy. Their day starts when someone decides it does, and it ends when they've mopped the same patch of non-skid so many times they start seeing their ancestors in it. Most of their time is spent wondering if drowning would be preferable to another safety brief. They've perfected the art of disappearing when work needs to be done, reappearing just in time for chow, and getting away with both, because no one actually knows where they belong anyway. Upon their return, they've morphed into people who instinctively cuss out inanimate objects, answer to a 6-syllable nickname no one remembers giving them, and consider, "Yeah, but did you die?" a legitimate medical evaluation. They sacrifice birthdays, holidays, and every decent relationship they've ever had so the rest of the country can live their lives without ever thinking about who keeps them safe. They disappear for months at a time so some kid back home can argue that nobody actually needs the Navy, while live streaming from a platform made possible by the satellites they keep running. They're a unique breed of men and women who can jury-rig a nuclear reactor with a butter knife, debate for hours over which deployment was the worst, knowing the answer is all of them, and still find time to remind the Marines that they're technically a department of the Navy. So here's to the Navy. The only place where a 12-hour shift lasts 18, a quick task takes all day, and the answer to every problem is figure it out. May your chiefs be too busy to notice you, your paycheck actually hit your account, and your next port call not get canceled for operational requirements.